So number three. So number three is a geometry question. It's saying, can a rectangle be a rhombus? Okay, so take a minute to think about this question, and then we're going to take it up together. So this is number three. Can a rectangle be a rhombus? And let me just draw a rectangle for you. And they actually drew it out here, which is nice, but I'll draw it out for you as well here. And we're going to let's do this. So here's my rectangle. Remember, this is a rectangle. There's I have some length and some width, right, of a rectangle, and these are all 90 degrees. And then a rhombus is different, right? A rhombus, how they drew it here, was they have here two angles are equal to each other. So again, I have these two angles are equal to each other, and again, these two angles are equal to each other. So again, so all the sides are equal, right? All the sides are equal, but the diagonals of the rhombus bisect each other at a right angle here. So this here is a rhombus. So all the sides are equal, right? So can a rectangle be a rhombus is the question here. So let's look at this question again, and let's kind of dissect this question. So can a rectangle be a rhombus? So the definition of a rectangle here is that I have some sort of length and some sort of width, and they're all at 90 degrees. So they both have four sides, right? So let's do a analysis here. They both shapes have four sides, which means they're quadrilateral. They both have four sides, so that's good. One rectangle has 90 degrees on both sides, on all four sides, right? Whereas the rhombus doesn't necessarily have to have 90 degrees on both sides, right? So not necessarily. The angles differ, right? But in this case, the angles are the same for two sides and the same for the other two sides, but they don't have to equal each other. They could be 90 degrees, but they couldn't be. So we can say could also be 90 degrees. And then we have here the length of the sides, right? We care about the length of the side. In a rectangle, if the length was the same, it would just be a square, right? Remember, a square here has right angles on all four sides, and the length and the width are the same, right? So length is, I can say that this is x and this is also x. But in a rectangle, the length has to be greater than the width. So I have to say length is greater than the width for our length of the sides, and then a rhombus, all sides are equal. So I just compared three kind of properties of a rectangle and a rhombus. So in this case, let's look at our chart here. We have four sides, both of them have four sides. That's good. So I'm gonna do that in red. That's good. So side length, so number of sides is perfect. So they're both quadrilateral, which are perfectly fine. 90 degrees on all four sides. This could also be 90 degrees for sides. An example could be that these four sides or four angles could be 90 degrees, but they don't have to be. So this technically is also satisfied, depending on what the angle is, depending on if I differ the angles. And then here it says length has to be greater than the width. But in a rhombus, all sides are equal. So in this case, it does not meet the requirement, right? Because if all sides are equal, then I would get this is the property of a square, right? Which is not a rectangle. Which means I'm fulfilling step 1, step 2, but step 3, the criteria is not being met here. So if the step 3 is not being met here, the rectangle cannot be a rhombus. So in this case, that's going to be my answer here. Rectangle cannot be a rhombus. Cannot be a rhombus because of this kind of criteria here. The all sides are equal. It's not, because all sides cannot be equal to each other. So let's see. Let's do this here. So now now it is seen that rectangles has not some of the properties. Rectangle has not all sides. That's what we proved. And the diagonals of a rectangle do not intersect each other at 90 degrees. And that's actually perfect. That's also correct, right? So if I drew a diagonal between here and here and here and here, sorry, this is a really bad diagonal. They don't intersect each other at 90 degrees. These are not 90 degree angles here. But in this case, if I drew a diagonal from here to here and here to here, this is a right angle here. So in this case, again, because of the diagonal it's also not a rectangle here. So diagonal is, or diagonals, sorry, diagonals are not 90 degrees. That's also another property that I didn't actually talk about, but they use that to support their argument. Totally fine. That's even better. I actually had a better answer than I did because I only proved it by sides, but they proved it by diagonals as well. So therefore, rectangle is not a rhombus. This here is a perfect solution. So I'm going to say here, perfect solution. Solution and great analysis. So solution is correct.